We're here in San Luis Obispo for the opening face-off. First.
That was Whittall's first point of the season. Second game, first point.
Yeah, good outside shot, good ball movement from Grand Canyon. And just was able to get that shot off quickly, and Bacarizo wasn't able to track it, put it in a pretty good spot off the hip. And Lopes take the 1-0 lead. The face-off X is going to be an interesting battle today. We've got Ryan Brown, returning All-American for Cal Poly, who's just been dominant this season. But he's might have his toughest matchup of the season so far. Alex McAlpine for the Grand Canyon had a nice day yesterday against Grand Santa Clara, won 16-20. But Brown's able to take that one. Scout on the GCU defense coming in is Coach Dabrio. Definitely expected to see a lot of zone. Mustang offense has come in absolutely red hot, putting 21 goals up against Dominican, 20 against Dominican, another 20 against Sonoma, 17 yesterday against Arizona State. So they've been on a tear.
So we got a double team there, and held on to the ball a little long.
Yeah, that's Reno just exactly holding the ball a little too long. He's got to get it moving there. If the shot's not there, move it on to the next guy, especially against the Lopes zone.
The Lopes are pretty hungry out here. They lost yesterday, and they're probably not too happy about it, and want to exact revenge. The ball came up Cal Poly.
Bacarizo with the run out, and the backup gives the ball back to the Mustangs.
Cal Poly seemed to have a pretty good ride and clear so far, what I've seen this year, and not much contesting on that one.
Yeah, they utilize their poles like we've talked about. All three of the starters can handle. That was Tunney bringing the ball over the midline, dishing it off to the midfielder for the relatively easy clear. Here's Flaherty with the ball on the wing. Dishes to Galef. Over to Kai Moy, who's had a really nice start to this season.
Sure has.
Looks like probably a 3-3 zone from Grand Canyon. Oh, Gosselin drives, finds the crease in the zone himself, but misses wide right. Toivola draws two, moves it to Galef. Oh, nice handles by Trageser, but he wasn't able to put the shot on cage, and it looks like the shot clock's going to expire, and Mustangs will just set up in their ride as opposed to pushing it in the last seconds.
Well, the smart thing there is they're able to get some of their personnel off and on by just dumping it over the end line.
Yeah, pretty hard to generate a decent shot with 2 or 3 seconds left in the shot clock, bringing it in from the end line. So
Cal Poly again contending the clear, but
Grand Canyon's goalie Jamie McKay looks active out of the goal so far. Athletic goalie, the lefty, so getting involved in the clear, and that's always a big help when the goalie can actually handle the ball himself in the open field.
And not be a liability for sure.
Yeah, some goalies really relish that role, and others would rather just dish it off to the first decent pass they can find and get back into their crease. Nice check from Hoblitzel. Ball on the ground.
going to be a scrappy game. Way it's starting out. A lot of energy.
Kai Moy with the GB, the little man getting in there among the trees and coming away with it.
And Cal Poly working their personnel. And Cal Poly having a relatively easy clear again. That's a little bit of athleticism and good teamwork.
Yeah, Grassman on the punt return clear there. If you don't need to pass, you don't have to pass. He finds Michael Ajeski with the star pass over the top. Michael Ajeski thinks about it, chooses otherwise, pulls his man back out, fumbles the ball a little bit. Cal Poly a little out of sorts here in the early going offensively.
I'm not sure they've seen much zone in the games I've.
Yeah, they'd seen some against Sonoma. They broke that down pretty quickly. There
go. No, on the outside of the net.
Thought that was in. That was Michael Ajeski over to Reno. Must have gone off the side of the goal.
Yep, good ball movement. On the replay, he feeds across crease, and there's a decent shot, but just off the outside of the net. Well, the Lopes are coming out strong on defense, and
yeah, definitely showing some aggression individually.
Loose ball pushed from behind, Cal Poly ball. The official pulls it back out a little bit, gets a reset. Cal Poly is going to have a quick substitution, and on offense, it's a lot easier to get you guys on.
Yeah, Galef in for Grassman. Michael Ajeski with the hard outside bouncer, goes wide. It's a good quick release though.
That's a good way to beat his zone, is to move the ball around, and if you can get an outside shot that gets off cleanly, it's going to work.
Yeah, it looks like Grand Canyon now is back in man-to-man. They might be bouncing in and out of things a lot today, trying to keep the Mustangs off kilter on their offense, which is, as we mentioned early in the broadcast, really been clicking on all cylinders lately. So I'd expect to see a number of different looks from Grand Canyon today. Reno with the righty outside bouncer goes wide.
Good ice pick check.
Yeah, not an easy check to pull off without the hold, and he was able to do it there.
They got a good fast break situation. They have numbers. They're still rock and roll. Well, Cal Poly gets back on defense and shuts it down. Looks like GCU calls a timeout. First time out of the half.
Early timeout. Not sure what the rationale behind that was, but Coach Guy wants to talk over things with his offense, maybe keep them patient and turn this into kind of a possession ball control type game. Try to keep it low scoring and not let the Mustang offense take off.
Well, here's an opportunity for Cal Poly to actually get there and reset their clock a little bit. I imagine they didn't expect to come out and have such a run fest, but Bobby Davio will get these guys settled in, and on offense they just need to take their time and be patient.
Yeah, interesting on the Lopes defense. Not exactly sure what they're running, to be honest, but what I can tell you is that they're really guarding their guy off ball, almost face guarding. And when you have that many guys in the middle of the field, it's just clogged up. Sometimes if they're trying to not slide and face guy away from the ball, you might just be able to open up your formation and get somebody to run past their defender and score on their own. Cal Poly has been a very assist-heavy offense. I caught this back half of yesterday.
GCU is 1, Cal Poly 0.
Caught the back half of the Arizona State game yesterday, and I think almost every goal was assisted. So, just might be trying to force Cal Poly to do it in a slightly different version than they've been doing the last few weeks.
Well, I was noticing that some of the slides that they were setting up and kind of telegraphing here from GC were more of an adjacent slide than a crease slide. So I think Cal Poly just needs to be aware of that difference in the.
Yeah, and their D middies are just going at random times aggressively. So interesting stuff so far from the Lopes. Pretty good. Jeff Guy in his first year as the coach for Grand Canyon. He was the defensive coordinator for the team for the last 4 or 5 years. So he obviously understands the defense and probably had a few wrinkles in store for the Mustangs today.
Good telegraph shot and playing catch for the goalie.
Yeah, Kyle Cruz with a good strong drive, but Vaquerizo was up to the task on that shot. Hoblitzel with the ball. Over to Ackroyd, who takes it over the midline himself.
One thing that I know with a good aggressive defense, that's not a full game strategy unless you've got a deep bench and a good athletic crew. I mean, you can do that for a while, but if they run out of steam, I can bode well for the Poly for the second half of the game.
Yeah, and that's why I'd expect the Lopes to kind of switch it up between, high pressure defense and maybe some zone and a few things in between. But we will see. Definitely, it's been effective so far. I don't think Mustangs have been kept off the board this much in their previous 5 games.
Well, notice they're knowing who to come out on hard. Like Flaherty, they were out on him, and Moy, they'll be out on him as well. So I think they're playing specific defense on specific people.
Yeah. Galef gets through the middle.
That's nice. Hey, he pulled that stick in.
And draws the post-goal flag. So that's Galef on the drive, doing it himself. Got past his man, and the slide didn't come, so he just kept going.
We'll see on the instant replay. He actually pulls a stick. He's hanging his stick. Here he goes.
Gets topside. Gets past the slide man and just keeps going. Splits 2.
And pulls a stick away with just about ready to get checked, and pulls back and rocks one about 7 yards.
Yeah, and just in the perfect spot. That was we got a lefty in the cage in Jamie McKay, so put it top right, and that's a tough one from the goalie from that distance. I didn't catch the call. Was that waved off, Coach? Looks like interference waved off. Yeah, even face off.
Yeah, so that's the difference between a personal foul and a technical foul. A technical foul will be waved off by a scorer. Personal foul will serve time. So Brown gets a procedure penalty by jumping.
Yeah, actually Grand Canyon must have jumped first because they just
up,
awarded the ball to Cal Poly. Yeah, it did look like Brown flinched, but maybe Grand Canyon flinched first.
So I don't think Grand Canyon's won a face-off yet. So we have 3-0 face-offs, and we'll try to keep good tabs of that here this game.
Yeah, and Brown continues his dominance at the face-off. So here we've got, so Grand Canyon in a man. Cal Poly with the invert, Flaherty with the ball. Impressed by Grand Canyon's D-Midi so far. They've been aggressive, they've been physical, and they've gotten the job done. That was Matthew Savanon just creating the turnover from Flaherty on good, solid one-on-one defense. Not an easy task for a short stick D-Midi behind the goal on the invert to come away with the turnover.
Well, if you have a head coach who was a defensive coach before, he's focused on that. Making sure he gets the right personnel and coaches them well.
So early on, it looks like Grand Canyon's strategy for this game, they're going to push the transition hard and be pretty disciplined and settled in the 6-on-6 game. That's it's not an unusual strategy, but it makes sense playing Cal Poly. I don't think they want to get into a 20 to 19 type of game with the Mustangs, so they're going to try and keep it under wraps.
Cal Poly gets the ball.
Gosselin with the ground ball, going to take it himself.
And a trip. That should be a trip.
Scored.
That should be a trip, but he's not going to call it. He's going to hold on to that flag.
Yeah, I don't know. That would not have gotten waved off because that is a personal, and I don't know how you don't call that a trip. But Gosselin is able to take the ball himself and get the goal.
Let's see our instant replay. He comes in and just gets run up the backside and scores. So I think we haven't seen a flag yet. We've just seen some technical calls made, and maybe the officials will let us just play the game.
Letting them play today, yeah.
So we got 2-1 Poly.
Winding down in the first quarter. Brown controls the face-off. Moy can't come away with the ball.
It's a 50-50 at this point. And GCU gets it and pulls the face-off victory. And now both teams get their personnel on the field after the face-off. And
yeah, so that face-off is just one of those indications of how important wing play is. Even when you have someone as good at their craft at Brown is, he controlled that ball, got it out to his wingman, but Moy couldn't corral the ground ball. Grand Canyon did a really good job of contesting it, yeah, keeping it out of his stick, and were able to come away with it.
They're certainly not going to concede any one of those face-offs or any of those ground balls.
Oh, nice ball movement from Grand Canyon, but it gets checked away on the crease at the last second. Time winding down in the first quarter, down to the last seconds. And the time expires with Cal Poly on top 2-1.
Well, so far an exciting quarter. And GCU is going to come on hard and strong.
Yeah, they're playing hard. I did not see their game yesterday, but so Grand Canyon comes in. This is only their second game of the season. First game of the year was yesterday against Santa Clara right here on the same field. Santa Clara coming away with the 12-8 victory. So, you know, Grand Canyon came in ranked 21st. Santa Clara was ranked 18th, but 12-8, you know, it's probably not, well, it's definitely not what Grand Canyon was looking for yesterday. So they don't want to come away from this road trip 0-2. So they're playing with a lot of effort. And so far, Cal Poly's been able to withstand it. We'll see if they're able to pull away as the game goes on.
Well, Cal Poly needs to just stay true to their game and make minor adjustments, but play hard and fast and get the ball around. And when the zone comes out, they need to find a way to bust that. And when they go to man-to-man, just play their game.
Yeah, the Mustang offense has really been clicking, like we talked about. You know, when we were out here a couple weeks ago, Sean, they looked good, but not great.
Right.
And in the 2 weeks in between that time, they really looked great. I think it was 20 goals against the number 17 Dominican Penguins, 21 against Sonoma, and then 17 yesterday against Arizona State in a game that wasn't even as close as the 17-4 score indicated. So they've been looking good. And most impressively, I think, for Cal Poly is their balance on offense. There is not one person that the defense is going to be able to key on to shut down. They've got 6-10 guys that can all put the ball in the back of the net. I also really liked the ball movement yesterday in the part of the Arizona State game I watched. Lot more movement, a lot more unselfishness, really crisp, and some of the best offense I've seen out of the Mustangs in a long time.
Well, I talked to Bobby before the game, and he said that all they're looking to do is game per game make improvements. So if they can keep doing that, that'll bode well for them. Yeah,
I mean it's a strong squad. They're come in ranked 5th. Georgia Tech and Chapman lost this weekend, so they're going to be top 3. And we're really going to know a lot in a couple weeks because they play Chapman next weekend in Orange, and then Cal. They host Cal back here in a couple of weeks. So we're going to know just how good the Mustangs are. All signs right now point to a top 5 team and a national title contender. Brown and McKay back at it.
Ball still being contended.
McAlpine. Nice work from Twardy.
So Cal Poly comes up with the ball.
Well, that was Wyatt Foster, the LSM.
So Cal Poly finally controlled the ball. I think the Lopes had it for a brief period. And
Mike Lejeski comes down the alley, pulls it out, and the Mustang O will settle up.
But Galef and Moy.
Yeah, it looks like Mike Lejeski, Galef, and Moy. As impressive as the Mustangs were last weekend, they're actually missing some personnel. Galef was out. I think Reno was out. So, again, the offense really got a lot of different pieces, a lot of people that can score. We'll see if they can keep this hot streak going. Low angle shot from Mike Lejeski goes wide.
Plenty of backup on Paulie's part.
Here's Toivola with the ball. He stepped in. Waterman was getting the starts early in the season, but he is hurt. I think he'll be back in a few weeks. But Toivola's played really well. Been impressed by his game. He's been patient, not tried to do too much.
Got a double team.
Draws the double and moves it on, just like there. Mike Lejeski with the inside move, and the dive does not go, and I think it's going to be in the crease. Oh, they're calling a push, actually. That is probably the toughest call in lacrosse to officiate.
It's a push is used liberally, but I mean he was pushed with the ball, which means with possession. I mean, I don't know. That's one of those. Maybe wasn't pushed that hard.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to assume the push started before he shot, right? So he would have had possession, but that is kind of the mid-level call. Not calling him in the crease, not calling a penalty, but ball stays Mustangs. Okay.
Well, the Lopes pull it out.
Yeah, nice recognition from Lenthal, D-mid for the Lopes. Gets the run out and causes the turnover on Cal Poly not being able to back up that shot.
So Cal Poly got their LSM on, number 20, Twardy, and then they're not very well contested for the ball. It's a loose ball. Looks like it's going to go out of bounds. Yep. Come up Poly ball, so it wasn't contested.
Lopes kind of chucked it up towards the attack, and
we got a flag down. There's a flag down and on the Lopes somehow.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that's a conduct foul. Seemed to be number 7 right where the ref was.
or he started out 5 yards close to the
yeah, could be that too. We'll find out. But Mustangs will keep the possession, and as I say that, will they keep the possession? They will. So on a flag down situation, I'm sure most of our viewers know that it's just it's a great advantage for the offense. You can take some risks because you know you're going to go man up as soon as you lose the ball if you don't score. Reno with the inside moves it to Gosselin.
So it's like in football with an offside.
Over to Galef. Flaherty with the behind the back, razzle dazzle.
Cal Poly's bench is a little energized right now.
Flaherty gets the Mustang bench up and going.
We have a conduct foul that's being wiped out. It was a technical. So that was the back shot, which was well placed.
Galef to Flaherty. Yeah. Nice look.
Not always a big fan of the behind the back until it actually works.
Well, if you're at the right angle, then there's a reason to do it. Yeah.
And he was.
He's running away from the goal, and he put it on cage. So that was always my clarification or my rule. If you're going to throw the behind the back in a game, then it better go cage. You better give yourself a chance to score that goal. So that was a nice look from the Mustangs.
So Poly 3, GCU 1.
It's been Brown and McAlpine on all of the face-offs so far. McAlpine actually controlled that one and gets it out to his wingman, and GCU
controls.
Wins the face. So yeah, McAlpine might be the biggest test Brown's faced so far. Brown still got the better of him so far, but
it's 2-4.
Yeah, McAlpine looks like he's a good face-off guy, and he's also athletic. So if he gets the ball, he can actually do something with it. Whereas some of the guys, if they're a Fogo, they may be able to win the clamp, but can't do much after that.
Well, and it's a team sport out there, too, in this regard. The face-off guys get the stats, but really the wing play, as we mentioned earlier, is a big part of it. And it's like GCU is going to have some strong wing play, as well as Cal Poly does. So it's gonna be a tight match on the face-off. We do have the shot clock on the far side of the field, the 50-yard line, so we'll be able to keep an eye on that. The shot went wide.
Wide.
Does not clear the shot clock. We got 30 seconds left in the shot.
Whittall on the drive.
Nice check.
Gets double teamed from Tunney.
Checked and picked up by Poly.
Tunney and Twardy combined to create the turnover. Tunney with the ball. Clears it himself. He's thinking about going to the rack, but thinks better of it.
Cal Poly does have some strong poles with some good skills, and they can take the ball across the midline without problem.
It's Trageser with the ball. It's going to bring it back through X. Gets it to Toivola. Over to Gosselin. And the Mustangs will set in for their next offensive possession.
Moy and Galef are in for the midfield.
Moy splits down the alley. He's lost the ball.
He had the LSM on him, which they're playing pretty aggressive out there, so more power to GCU for that.
Yeah, their individual defense has looked solid.
Until they throw it away.
Yeah, that's a different skill set, right? Galef moves it into Flaherty quickly, but GCU's back on D. Yeah, 24 for the Lopes. Aiden Ryan, one of their senior captains. He's a talented LSM. He's already had a few turnovers created today, so I'd think twice about driving on him, and I'm sure you can find somebody else that is a little easier to get past out there.
That's where the being aware of not only your own personnel on the field, but also your opponent's personnel and what their tendencies are.
Yeah, and be willing to not drive if you've got their best player and there's other people that are fairly easy to drive on.
There
nice
it is.
Look, really good cut from Trageser. Feed from Galef.
And he had a pole on him on the drive and was able to keep hold of the stick and make a great feed.
Yeah, and Trageser, he not that he can't drive the ball himself and score, but he's really adept at he really cuts into the crease, knows when to cut, and has good handles when he gets those opportunities. Most of his goals this year have been assisted.
So there's a feed. Galef had a great drive and protecting his stick, so good assist for him. So at 4-1. Cal Poly.
It's like I was going to say the Lopes set up to prevent the fast break, which means Brown is just going to go straight back to the wing. I don't know if that adjustment was really needed. It seems like they've been pretty even on the faceoffs, really. If they make that adjustment, Brown's just going to eat him alive. He's just going to win the clamp and go straight back to the wingman uncontested.
That's just identifying what your field set is, and Brown just chewed him up, spit him out.
Yeah, and that's the benefit of that 4 years of experience, right? It's not always about having the glory of winning going forward and trying to get your own goal. If they're giving you the clamp and the rake back, then take it.
Yeah, if you have a layup, take it.
Back into the zone, it looks like, for GCU.
Right on the crease.
And it does not work. Reno with just the easy feed to Toivola, wide open on the crease. Caught the Lopes napping.
So the defense was pushed out on, how do you pronounce it, Michael
Ajeski.
They pushed out on him and just left the post wide open. No. Oh, here we go.
Reno, Toivola just all alone. Had time to think about where he wanted to put that one. Sometimes that can be dangerous. Start thinking about making cool fakes and moves and forget to catch the ball first.
Cal Poly 5, GCU 1.
Brown controls it. Can't get it himself though. Yeah, good wing play from the Lopes. They've done well. 26 is a player. Nice. Takes the ball himself. Gets a shot off. Flaherty does a good job of contesting it at the last second.
But they give the ball to GCU, even though I thought Poly was close to the end line.
Kobe Brown, D-mid for the Lopes, has been impressive. Does the rope-a-dope with Brown and tries to get an advantage, which he does. We'll see if they push it. He takes the long outside shot. And that's Baccarizo got a piece of that one.
So they reset the clock to 80 seconds for the shot clock. Number 7, Lopes drives hard.
It's a Goodyear driving on Ackroyd. You got to have some courage to try and drive past Ackroyd. He's bringing some lumber with him. Flaherty on the invert. Nice look from Grand Canyon. I think Baccarizo might have got a piece of that. It went off pipe for sure. I think Baccarizo got a piece first. Mustangs on the clear. Tunney, long pass over to Mike Lejeski, who takes it himself through the teeth of the Lopes ride, and will settle in for another offensive possession. So Grand Canyon came out hot like you were talking about, Coach, but Cal Poly settled down and just been focused on offense, and the goals have started to come. Grand Canyon can't seem to find the looks on their side of the ball.
Well, it just means, probably what Bobby told his team once after the GC took their first time out is just everybody take a deep breath. It's going to come. And like I said, they can't run that style defense all day. Too much energy.
So now they're back in the zone. See if they continue to leave Toivola open on the on that wing, and they did. This time, instead of going for the shot himself, he wisely found the pass up top. Galef just sent it wide. Toivola again to Galef. Galef again with the shot, this time with the save.
He's got to put those on the ground.
Yeah, that one needed to go down just because goalie had such a clean line of sight on that with all those bodies in the crease right there. You put that one on the turf, you got a pretty good chance of it going in. But GCU clears the ball.
Doing the personnel swap. They got a slight advantage by substitution timing, but they throw the ball away.
Good effort, but he can't save it.
And the Lopes go in the fan base. Cal Poly gets a good fast break opportunity.
That's Butts with the Aaron pass to Toivola. That was a good look, good opportunity for the Mustangs. You gotta take that opportunity.
And he returns the favor by throwing it away.
Yeah, Dominic Butts just a little too fast for his own good there. He's one of the fastest kids on the team, but needed to settle himself just enough to put a good pass over to Toivola, who's not a short player. So if you overthrow Toivola, then you were off by quite a bit.
So the Lopes actually do a little dip of a pass over the midline to their pole and succeed in an easy clear.
Peterson, lefty with the drive.
Cal Poly showing some aggression on defense too. And can't see that play.
Yeah, we're a little shielded from that, but Hoblitzel came up with the ball.
He controls the ball, and Cal Poly's
moves it over to the goalie. Got past the goalie, but Mike Lejeski was able to pick it up in the open field. Nice ball movement from Ackroyd up to Butts again. And Cal Poly will wisely settle it in this time.
That's again, I'm really pleased and impressed with how Cal Poly is clearing the ball without a lot of contention or failures. Not a lot of stress occurring on their clears because they got a good set of skilled defensemen with their poles making good passes. Yeah,
they trust everyone to. There's a shot from Trageser from outside, went quite wide.
They used to call those possession shots, but not anymore.
Yeah, that doesn't exist anymore with the shot clock. So we know that's not what it was. In the old days, to try to avoid the shot clock being put on you, you would sometimes take those shots. Oh!
Well, that's going to leave a mark.
Yeah, Mike Lejeski with the low-to-low rip off of McKay's knee. That one stung.
And that's going to go GCU ball.
GCU with the backup because the ball went up in the air so high, they had a chance to run it out.
So Poly doing their personnel change, get a D-Midi and an LSM on the field.
It's McKay quickly up the field again. Okay. Finds one of his attackmen down by the restraining line. GCU settles it up.
Poly will solve that puzzle. I mean, those are good. If you're GCU, you're pleased with that kind of clear, but Poly's going to have to find a way to make sure they're protecting the box area on those clears.
Yeah, that seemed like it was actually one of the attackmen just getting free from his defender.
The middies and Poly's attack both do a great job on that end of the field, keeping the area congested and not an easy clear. But the Lopes start high with their drive.
That's that's Cruz on the drive.
Shot and score.
That was a nice look from Spencer Tate for the Lopes. Just a one-on-one lefty drive. Really quick look and just he hit his stick well on that one. Kind of went with the side-armed bouncer and it got past Bacarizo.
That tends to be a drive, pass. Didn't know that he's driving and he just beats his man, gets up just about 7-10 yards up top and just lets him a low ripper go.
Yeah, it was a nice look from Tate. Like to see the Mustang defense really needs a slide on that one, though. I mean, you've got the short stick D-Mitty, the guys that, like you said, about 10 yards out. Somebody's got to be coming out to help on that one, or that's going to go in most of the time.
We've got a couple wingmen here that are contending with each other. They're not going to be friends after this game, I don't think.
Flaherty with the ground ball for the Mustangs.
Oh, and hangs a stick.
Yep, tried to get a shot off, but got checked just the last second. I think Cal Poly calls a timeout on Ryan Brown's ground ball.
That's a sharp coach's move right there.
Yep, keeping those possessions, especially as the half runs down. I think that was Mustang's first time out. You can't take them with you, so you might as well get yourself a good opportunity and a good look here in the latter stages of the second quarter.
Is that 3 minutes left in the period? I can't see.
3:22 it looks like.
Well, both teams realize that the face-offs are pretty critical, and Cal Poly, I think, has the definite advantage, but GCU's not going to concede any one of those balls.
Yeah, they're working hard on the wings. A lot of energy and effort out of the Lopes today. Again, that's a proud program.
They're twice national champions.
Yeah, last time in 2017 was their last national title, and it's actually the 7th meeting all time between Cal Poly and Grand Canyon. The record's knotted at 3-3 right now, so this one will give one team an advantage. There's been some big games both ways. Cal Poly knocked off the Lopes in the semifinals at the national tournament in 2016, and Grand Canyon knocked us out in 2015, their other year that they went to the title.
How long has GCU been in the MCLA? Did they come up from Division II?
Yeah, they've had an interesting little odyssey. Yeah, they started, I think, NCAA Division II, and that only lasted for a few years, if I can recall. And then went to MCLA Division II for maybe 1 year, and then MCLA Division I. All told, I think it's only been around for about a decade, but I don't think the school's been around all that much longer than that, to be honest.
Well, they have 2 national titles for the MCLA, so it's a strong program.
Yeah, they had probably one of their worst years ever last year, coming off a 5-8 season. But starting fresh this year, new coach, well, at least a new head coach. Not new to the program, but we'll see how their 2020 campaign goes. Coming out in the zone again.
That was a good look. The zone just broke down a little bit, and
yeah, that was Mike Lejeski taking advantage. Sometimes in that zone they pass you off to the next player, but whoa.
That was a good feed right in the crease, and good handle. Just the shot was a few inches tall.
Yeah. Trageser to Teufel on that. Teufel has got to try to position himself before he catches the ball on that at a better angle. Pretty hard to go with your back turned and then get turned around.
It's almost a Trevor Yealy type move.
Yeah, you almost have to go with this backhanded scoop shot if you're catching it with your back to the goal. Not that most coaches are going to recommend that, but always one of my favorites. A good check on Mike Lejeski, or Galef, excuse me, as he went to pass, and timely check, and ball sails out of bounds. Grand Canyon no clear.
I thought that was a good offensive possession.
Yeah,
Poly just didn't score.
They're getting plenty of looks against the zone. I don't think that's a major concern. You just gotta connect on those opportunities.
Well, contested clear, but not too stressful on GCU, so they're able to get it down.
Yeah, McKay's he's been fine in the cage. He's looked better out of the cage. So you have a goalie who's that active and that accurate, and clears shouldn't be a huge issue for Grand Canyon. Cal Poly's been able to break up at least a few of them, though. So coming down under 2 minutes and a half. A goal would be big here for Grand Canyon to pull back within 2.
Kyle Crew driving, pass, and another drive.
Here's the other lefty, Peterson. Comes back to his left. Oh. So he's driving down the right alley, but he's listed in the scout as all left. And so you knew he was coming back left, and he managed to do it even though he had very little space to pull that off. So he drives down that alley, gets underneath his short stick D-midi. He's got it in his other hand, but he brings it back to his left, kind of jumps up and gets it over Bacarizo's shoulder.
Clearly uncomfortable with the ball in his right hand.
Yeah, but adept with his left. So, you know, if you can pull stuff off like that, you can get away with it. He's that was Peterson out of Spokane, Washington. So maybe that's close enough to Canada. That was his Canadian, right?
He only needs one hand.
Yeah.
Well, as I mentioned a couple of times, I'm paying attention to the GCU's offense. They initiate a drive on one side of the field. They make 2 passes and drive again. I'm not seeing a lot of sliding on Cal Poly's part, but typically when you do a drive, pass, drive kind of cadence, if you will, it's because you've made the defense shift. I'm not seeing that being the case, but they're still making a great second drive and scoring those last 2 scores.
Yeah, I think the best thing I've seen out of GCU's offense is just when they do go to the cage, they're being very decisive. They're driving hard to the cage. And
we have offsides. We have offsides, Cal Poly, so coming up GCU.
Grand Canyon going to push, try to get another one before the break, and they'll call their second timeout. And a little more energy on the Loeb sideline after that little string of events.
We got just under a minute left, and they're going to hope to put a score on the board and Cal Poly, and then get some momentum going into the halftime, and then Poly's going to try to shut them down. So we'll see. 53 seconds left. No. It's 5-3. There we are. This goes 54 seconds.
Oh, coincidentally.
Okay, so yeah, here the Lopes really would like to get a momentum boost in the last minute of the half, and Cal Poly would certainly like to not do that.
Yeah, they're going to do their best to prevent that goal. But yeah, offensive looks strong from GCU. Again, when they decide to go, they're going hard to the cage. They're gonna make Cal Poly bring some body slides to prevent them from going to the rack, and I haven't seen a lot of that out of Cal Poly so far.
Well, I haven't seen a lot of slide really. I think they're allowing their individual defense to speak.
Yeah, and their individual defenders are good, but there are going to be times where you've got to bring the slides, or people are just going to.
Well, those last 2 scores are evident of that. I mean, no slides are coming either on that first drive or that drives that scored. So we'll see if any adjustments are made.
Yeah, and I think both of those drives, the last 2 scores, which were the one-on-one drives, they were both against the short stick D-midi too. So no matter how talented a D-midi you are, the other 5 guys behind you have to be prepared to help you out.
Okay, they're doing an invert to this Crew, Kyle Crew.
Grassman on defense. Looks like the Lopes might just be holding on to it for the last shot. Never really understood this whole motivation. Well, he gets going, but no, it's kind of a fake. Yeah, they're winding it down to some spot that coach wanted, and then they'll get it going.
They'll execute one play, either it works or it doesn't.
Yeah.
So he drives from
down
up top.
The right alley. Slide comes in that case from Tunney.
That's the first drive, pass, and now this guy's going to not be able to handle it.
Yeah, oh, nice pickup from Grassman.
So Cal Poly has an opportunity, 5 seconds.
I don't know if Grassman understands that time's running down. And yeah.
Oh, but he also got railroaded up the backside, but they're letting him play.
Yeah, no call. So, and that's the half here in San Luis Obispo. We got Cal Poly up 5-3 over the Grand Canyon Lopes. Good, well-played game so far. Few mistakes, from both offenses. Some turnovers that they'd like to have back, but both teams are definitely playing hard, especially after having games yesterday. And it looks like it's going to be a battle to the end of the fourth quarter.
Well, I think the errors that we're seeing there, I'm not seeing very many unforced errors. I'm seeing a lot of hard play that are driving Cal Poly or GCU to lose the ball. So it's good lacrosse so far.
Yeah, everything's been contested. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with the third quarter in a few minutes. right, and we're back for the start of the third quarter. We've got Cal Poly with the 5-3 lead over the Grand Canyon Lopes. Grand Canyon come out with a pretty impressive showing. Definitely battling hard, contesting everything. They're not going to go down easily. So hopefully Cal Poly, any thoughts of an easy day like yesterday should be out the window at this point, and hopefully they're ready for a full 4 quarters to get the victory. Brough controls the ball, gets the ball himself.
But it's some interference probably on Pauly's side. And
yeah, it must have been from the wing player, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe, as Brough was picking up the ball, maybe a little interference from the wing. So we're going Grand Canyon.
So Grand Canyon picks up first face-off of the half. Still, Cal Poly is, I got 6-3 face-off, so we're still, we're winning 2, they're winning 1.
So Griffin Rodas with the ball for Grand Canyon. Big game from him yesterday. 4 goals, 1 assist against Santa Clara. In a game they only scored 8 goals. And that's Kyle Cruz just with the hard dodge, just determined dodge against the short stick D midi. Just lowered his shoulder and ran past him.
High energy. So if you take
on
a look,
the replay, we got it just lowers his shoulder, gets past him, gets top side, and fires it right on the inside pipe past Bacarizo. It's a nice drive.
Well, Coach will say it's a third score that they have simply driven, pass, drive, and shot and score. I mean, that's a simple formula, and if it ain't broke, they don't need to fix anything. Cal Poly needs to solve that puzzle. It's nothing rocket science. There's no slide coming. There's no slide coming in the initial drive. Not a big deal. They're pushing around to the backside. There's just no slide coming to the second drive, and that's a problem for Cal Poly.
Yeah, they're just initiating on the one side and then getting it over to the short stick D-midi matchup where they can get basically a running start on them.
Lopes control the ball on the face-off.
And that's
Cal Poly's contesting it still. Then
Kobe Brown with the ball, who's had a really active day for the Lopes. Playing without his.
Okay, we have a hold on who? Going Cal Poly. So hold on GCU.
Yeah, it looked like he was.
Hold on anybody.
Yeah, well, it looked like Kobe Brown there was holding with his free arm. He only had one hand on his stick, and I think that was probably the call.
A lot of pushing and shoving in there.
There's Gokhale with the ball. I don't think I saw him in the first half. I'm not sure if he was out the first half or if I'm just not remembering, but he's been one of the dominant offensive players for the Mustangs, so a little surprising that this is the first time we've seen him today.
So Cal Poly not looking super organized on offense yet. They need to find a comfort zone.
Yeah, Grand Canyon back in their zone, and like we talked about, they've been in and out of different sets, showing Cal Poly different looks. This is definitely kind of the 3-3 zone.
We're coming up on 20 seconds for shot clock.
Flaherty with the handle gets past his man, but just can't put the ball on cage. Good move from him.
So 16 seconds on the shot clock. They don't seem to have a whole lot of urgency here.
Galef had Flaherty again if he wanted. Over to Toivola, and that was not a wise choice from Toivola. Trying to get the shot off to beat the shot clock, but just ended up giving an easy clearing opportunity to the Lopes. Again, I think Cal Poly are finding some looks.
I think they should have been offsides. If the official was paying attention, they would have gone offsides with the Lopes. He stepped over the line.
Well, Cal Poly's able to get it back on the right anyway. Up to Toivola.
Got an unsettled situation, but Cal Poly is going to pull back, and properly so. Let's get it settled down. And
yeah, Grand Canyon did a good job of getting back into the hole. Of course, one way to beat the zone is in those types of opportunities. It takes a while to set that zone up, and if you can get those unsettled opportunities, you can beat them before they can get into it. But they are back into it. 2 poles down the center. No pressure behind GLE. Got the short sticks up on the top right and left wing. Skip over to Gokhale. who moves it to Gosselin. Carries the ball over. Just really trying to find the seams there for Cal Poly.
Well, with the shot clock not working in their favor, so zone can be pretty effective. Yeah. Shot and score.
Kai Moy with the tremendous individual effort. It looked like he actually got the ball dislodged, somehow corralled it in midair and got the shot off as he was falling down. So
let's see how we do.
He took a bad situation, which was a near turnover, and turned it into a goal. So he gets checked, ball's up in the air, or actually on the ground. Somehow picked it up and fired it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, impressive determination there from Moy.
So Cal Poly is, we have 6-4 now. Cal Poly 6, GCU 4. And we have another face-off. So let's see how we do. It's this second half will be highly contested on the face-offs for sure.
Brown controls that one and then gets it himself, but it gets checked out from the wingman just as he was about to pick up the ball.
There's a little bit
Brown
of a push.
gets pushed.
Push on GCU, Cal Poly ball. We'll call that a victory for Cal Poly's face-off team. GCU's coach is not too happy about
Coach
something.
Guy, yeah, I think he thinks Brown dove a little bit on that push. But, face-off men are nothing if not crafty.
That's right.
And it's a very fine line between a push and a dive.
What do they say? If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying hard enough on face-off.
Well, in that situation, I mean, they're going so hard at it on those 3-on-3 ground balls. I mean, he is getting pushed in the back.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of how much. So, it's not a complete acting job. Could he be embellishing a little bit? Maybe. But I don't think that was a bad call by any stretch.
Watch college basketball, and you'll see a good flop or two.
Yeah.
Their failure to advance on the clear. 20 seconds to get over the line. They didn't.
D-man Hazel for Grand Canyon had trouble picking up the ground ball. The long pass kind of fumbled it.
Ooh, Cal Poly's going to get cracked here.
Galiff.
He's not paying attention to the guy coming out of the box.
That is pretty inexcusable. I mean, people are coming in and out of the box on every play. How you can not understand that? A player as good as Galiff is a little beyond me.
Well, the other thing, I didn't hear anything on a Cal Poly sideline telling his players about ready to get clocked. So that's a little bit of a team sport there.
Yeah, that's a tough way to lose the ball just from not paying attention.
Well, I'm sure
not to mention it hurts getting checked by a guy that you had no idea was coming from the sidelines.
My guess is Coach Bobby is going to have a word or two during films on that one. So the Lopes are getting their personnel on the field. And
Rodas just fumbles the ball himself, and Mike Lejeski's able to get it. Hard ride from the Lopes, but Mike Lejeski gets the Hoblitzel, who goes across to Ackroyd. Ackroyd up to Gokale, and the Mustangs clear.
Does he have an uncle named Dan?
I'm not sure if that was a shot off the goalie's stick.
It was almost like a bounce pass.
Yeah, Toivola had it and then lost it.
Coming up, Lopes. See, now these are some unforced errors here. There's no reason for Cal Poly to be on defense these last couple of times.
And I honestly don't know if that was a shot from Gokale at that point, or if he was trying to pass and didn't go where he wanted. Another broken clear for the Lopes. Mike Lejeski going the other way.
But that was an unforced error on the Lopes part. So there's some sloppy play in the last few exchanges. Cal Poly really needs to settle it down and take control of the offense.
Yeah, a little frenetic pace out there to start the third quarter.
They have to solve the puzzle on
Toivola wide open again on the
within the crease
on GLE, but McKay is able to make the save.
A good contested clear on the ride by Cal Poly, and they come up with the ball.
That is 3 broken clears in a row for the Lopes. That's a surefire way to hurt your upset chances.
So got 65 seconds in the shot clock, so Cal Poly isn't in a rush, but they do need to find a way to solve this puzzle of the zone here.
Yeah, Grand Canyon stuck with only three short sticks though, so that's going to hurt the zone quite a bit. Not having that LSM roam in the middle of the field. See if Cal Poly can take advantage.
There it
Gosselin wide open. Toivola with the nifty little fake, and then just puts it behind the defender's head to Gosselin with the easy finish.
Yeah, at a 2.5-yard shot, that should go in.
Yeah, that one's got to be canned, and it was. So just moving it. Toivola fakes to the wing, and then moves it to Gosselin right on the crease.
Gosselin just found the slide of the zone move out. He stepped in where the defender was, and he's wide open. It's a heads-up play, both on the cutter and the feeder.
Yeah, and I think you got to test part of that to the 3 broken clears, so that's a lot of defense in a row for Grand Canyon. And then because of the unsettled situations, they weren't able to get their personnel on, and they only had 3 long sticks and 3 short sticks, so that hurts your zone potential there. But yeah, nice play from the Mustangs regardless.
So GCU controls the ball comes down, and they call out on Grand Canyon and going Poly ball.
Yeah, Gosselin checked his stick, went out of bounds.
Yeah,
could have been called a little bit from behind, but again,
I would call it a lot from behind, but they're letting him play.
Yeah, I mean they've been consistent in the fact that they are not calling much. So
we'll give that consistency for the officials. That's pretty good. Grand Canyon coach reasonably upset about that, and that's unfortunately where you can start getting some chippy play later on if the opposing coach doesn't like some of the plays. He can tell his guys to be a little more aggressive, and we'll see how that turns out.
Grand Canyon staying in that zone, passing to Galef in the middle, thinks about the shot but pulls it out.
Wisely.
Skip pass to Moy, who can't get past his defender. Gets checked on the attempted face dodge.
Cal Poly stays in goal. They're actually resetting the shot clock for some reason. The officials, but no need to.
Gosselin feed to Galef with the hard lefty shot and the finish. That's a nice shot from Galef. Quick release, and so that what you like about that is goalie's trying to track the ball from below GLE up top. Galef doesn't give him much chance to find the ball. Just gets rid of the ball quickly.
Time and space if you had a good wind-up. And
yeah.
I think you're absolutely right. If you can get fed from behind the cage, the goalie's whipping all the way around 180 degrees, and it's hard to hone in on that shot.
Yeah, and at that point, it's quick release and placement is just as important as speed. I mean, speed never hurts on your shot, but that was Galef just nice, hard, over-the-top shot.
Cal Poly,
big goal for the Cal Poly.
8-4. Cal Poly up. Now we got a good scrappy contested face-off.
Yeah, Brown had control, but Lopes come away with it. And that's Rodis, with the clear for the Lopes.
These guys, Cal Poly face-off team does not like coming off the field on defense at all. That's no fun for them.
See if Grand Canyon's continues to try to exploit those short stick matchups, bringing it around from below GLE, and just another hard drive.
That's good save, but that's again the formula for those guys is drive, pass, drive, and shoot. Thankfully, it was a save on that one.
Yeah, good save from Baccarizo. There's Grassman with the clear. Dishes it off to Gosselin, who settles it up. Yeah, and it's got to be a conscious choice at this point to not slide because the Lopes haven't drawn a slide on the other side of the field, so it's not like Cal Poly's on the carousel and haven't recovered enough to slide. They just aren't sliding even on the first one. So, it's been effective so far, but it. Yeah, would make me a little nervous.
Well, but I think the coach is assuming that their individual defense is going to be strong enough, and until they get beat wildly, they won't slide. It just requires some good athleticism all around.
Over to Galef again, pulls it out. Yeah, and at least that one was on the pole, so you can understand that more. Being slower to slide to that.
We'll get a shot, good save. Stays Cal Poly.
Yeah, that's a reset off the goalie.
He's going to have a few bruised shins here come tomorrow.
Yeah, McKay's had a solid game. There's probably been a couple that he'd like to have back, but certainly keeping Grand Canyon in this. And
right
there
on
it
the
is
crease.
again, Toivola getting naked right in front of the crease. And he did a little better at that on that one. He had that same
turning.
look. Yeah, he was a little off-centered, so he didn't have his back completely to the goal.
Here we go. He's just fed right in the crease and just turned and shot. That's
yeah, good handle from Toivola. Must have been a little conduct after the goal from Cal Poly, so face-off is awarded directly to GCU.
Missed that. Let's go. Yeah. Because there was a dead ball foul on Cal Poly caused GCU to win a face-off.
Grand Canyon moves it behind X. Outside shot. Nice save from Baccarizo down low.
That was not an easy save.
Oh!
Good garbage goal opportunity.
Yeah.
And a flag.
Goodyear gets the rebound and the ground ball from his own shot and then puts in the behind the back goal.
And we're getting a little chippy out
Yeah.
there. And,
Scrappy play from Goodyear. Seeing it all the way through.
And my guess is that's going to be a personal foul. See, we got.
Yeah, so Goodyear takes the long outside shot, but Baccarizo makes the save but can't corral the ground ball. And Goodyear gets in there himself and puts in the behind the back shot.
Not quite sure what the flag was. They're waving
They're
it.
still discussing it as an illegal body check. Don't know.
Which I think that's going to be a.
That should be time served despite the goal, right?
I don't know. It depends on what they call it. Yeah, he's calling it here.
So that's Ackroyd during play. So that's important. If it's after the goal, then there'd be no face-off as well. But so here we've got the man down face-off for Cal Poly.
So we have a naked wing close side of the camera here.
Yeah. So this would be huge if Brown could win this one, possibly kill this penalty.
So it's a 9-5. Looks like loose ball push. And who are they going to give it to? Loose ball push, Cal Poly ball. And Cal Poly will have the ball and man down. And
so Brown drew the push call again, and the Grand Canyon coaching staff is still not pleased with their decision. So that's a big call, though, because that gives Cal Poly the ball with the man down, essentially gives them the opportunity to kill the man up for Grand Canyon, play a little keep away for the next minute.
They could double the ball if they wanted to, but they're choosing not to.
Yeah, I've really noticed over the last couple of years, especially in the NCAA, but even in the higher levels of the MCLA, is they rarely double team anymore when the man down unit is on offense, and I think there's just it ends up leading to a lot of unsettled goals for the man down unit. So it's the risk you take. Grand Canyon chooses to play it straight up, and they're going to watch their man up opportunity evaporate.
So now they're all even up. They effectively killed the penalty by winning the faceoff is what it comes down to. And with the shot clock on the field, it's now they have a short time to get a shot off.
Galef over to Gosselin, who puts it to the side of the net.
Now, does that reset that? That should reset the clock, but it doesn't matter. Cal Poly's in a ride situation. They're getting back on defense.
Yeah, I don't think it would reset if Cal Poly is actually able to get the ball back because the net isn't the pipe, but it doesn't matter in this situation. Brown takes the ball down himself, or excuse me, Rodas. I keep getting that wrong. Rodas takes the ball down himself and unleashes the wild shot well over cage.
GCU running an open set, nice wide open set as they get settled in.
Tunney on the ball carrier.
Cal Poly defense has been pretty strong on a man-to-man situation.
There's the hard drive again from 7. Goodyear, who's had the last goal. Tuardi on the ball carrier. There's Aykroyd back in after the personal foul. Oh, Mike Lejeski picks up the pass and gets it going the other way.
Maybe it's time for a good transition goal here. Cal Poly can find the open man during chaos.
Moves it down to Gosselin over to Grassman, who takes the shot, but McKay is up to the task on the offside hip.
Yeah, good shot and good save.
Yeah, that was good placement. That was offside hip on the lefty goalie, but McKay able to make the save and ball back the other way. There's Whittall. Whittall had a real opportunity for a shot there, but couldn't corral it.
Flag down. I think it's helmet to helmet. That's not a bueno.
Tunney's going to get called with the helmet or the high hit. Flag down.
The Lopes can, if they score, then that being a personal foul would still be a time-serving penalty. So the Lopes really have an opportunity.
Yeah.
And they throw it away.
Oh, that's... Over and back.
It's a silly
call. As a penalty, that's not the right call. That had nothing to do with anything, but that's okay.
Okay, just got an illegal body check. No helmet to helmet, because that would have been locked in.
He could have got two on that, but.
Well, he could have even locked this one in, but this is releasable. And
so we're 2 seconds in the quarter. Grand Canyon is most likely just going to hold it now.
And avoid the face-off.
Yeah, if the team with possession and the man up has possession at the end of the quarter, then there's no face, and they'll go straight into the man up opportunity. So they'll have 58 seconds left in the EMO. We're bringing back the replay. So here comes Tunney out on the defense. Yeah,
that could have been locked in pretty easy.
Yeah, I think the guy had fumbled the ball, so he was crouched down low. Tunney definitely got him in the head. So that was the right call in that situation.
Well, I think it could even have been helmet. If I was the official out there, I probably would have erred to the side of a helmet-to-helmet call. But
yeah, well, he got the illegal body check 1 minute. So, but a big point in the game. So 9-5. So Grand Canyon's still definitely holding their own in this one. They've got an opportunity here in the fourth quarter, but they really need this man up. Would be huge for them to draw to 9-6.
Let me ask a question, Coach. Just before the period ended, the Lopes have the ball in their stick. There's their man up. If Cal Poly had this ball in their stick and Cal Poly was man down, would we retain possession?
I believe that's right.
I think that's true. So that's a little nuance. That's whoever has possession at the period, whether it's man up or man down.
Yeah.
The other thing is if the ball is being passed, that's non-possession. So if it's in the air.
All right, so big moment here in the game. We've got Grand Canyon coming out to start the fourth quarter with a man-up opportunity. Have they had man-up? I don't think they have.
No.
Actually, I don't think Cal Poly. They might have had one.
No, I don't. I think Cal Poly there was a flag down. We scored, and it was a personal. I mean, a technical sort of wave.
Yeah, so the
first man up of the day.
It has been definitely been calling it pretty loosely today. So it's a first man up.
Yeah, I think they couldn't not have called that last one for sure.
Yeah, that for sure.
We have Amtrak coming through for those listening.
Grand Canyon in a wheel open, but then they send their cutters. Checked by Cal Poly. Grassman with the ground ball. Big ground ball from Cal Poly.
He's got some wheels,
yeah,
taking it up.
With good speed and the clear.
Pay attention to coming in.
Yep. Big moment in the game there. Cal Poly able to kill the penalty before Grand Canyon can even get a shot off. So huge swing as the penalty comes to an end, and Mustangs will go back 6-on-6. And now we'll see how long Grand Canyon can stay in this zone. They've been in it most of this second half, but down 9-5. As you know, another goal from Cal Poly, and I think they're going to have to come out of it and try something different, because Cal Poly's going to be able to, whether they score or not, they're going to be able to possess the ball and kill quite a bit of time, just trying to find the weak spot in the zone.
Well, I don't see as much energy in the. Oh, that's a nice rip.
Gokhale with the low to high rip. Top corner.
That's a good zone buster. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, just gets the feed from top center and just lets it fly. Puts it on, it's a lefty goalie, so puts it near pipe. And, yeah, that's the shot of the day right there.
Yeah, good field shot, yeah. So I was about to say, Coach, I didn't see the energy and the feed of GCU on this zone. I think they're starting to slow down, and he didn't come out quick enough. And
yeah, Cal Poly's got, they don't have outside bombers, but all of them can shoot from 10, 12 yards. So they need to extend on all of them to an extent, and they didn't there, and Gokhale made them pay.
Well, so I got Grand Canyon has controlled 4 face-offs and Cal Poly 3 in this period.
Yeah, this has been the first real test, like we talked about, for Brown and for the face-off unit. I think a lot of credit to Grand Canyon's wings. They've been a big part of keeping it closer to 50-50 than any game that Cal Poly's played so far this year.
I think Cal Poly's still up on the game by maybe 55 to 60%, but this is the biggest test so far.
Little rope-a-dope with the face-off guys trying to gain an advantage, but Cal Poly wisely figures out the substitution patterns and is able to sub in the D-midi.
And Brown on his way off the field had a few choice words for his.
Grand Canyon throws the ball away.
There wasn't a 5-yard separation there.
Yeah, well, he also let the attackman pick up a ball that was on the midfield side of the field, or the defensive side of the field, so not sure either one of those are by the book.
Yeah, I think they'll I'm not a big fan of super technical game calling, but you got to be a little on the game, guys.
Still, Grand Canyon still sitting in the zone, and Gokhale still with quite a bit of room over here on the same side that he just scored from. Mike Lejeski with the long outside bouncer.
They can put a few of those in that should break that defense down to where they can't stand in a zone.
Yeah, a little surprised they're staying in it at this point, down 10-5, fourth quarter. But and frankly, it just haven't been that effective the last in this second half anyway. Besides the outside shots, they've found plenty right on the doorstep. Toivola corrals the ground ball, moves it up to Galef. Gokhale again.
Low to high, baby.
This was low to high on the left pipe. Yeah, stick side.
That's a sweet spot to shoot for him.
Yeah. So that's a killer for the Lopes. About 10 seconds left in the shot clock. Not really a lot there. Just again slow to get out to the wing shooter. Same place, slightly different placement, but 11-5 Cal Poly. So that's Sachin Gokhale, number 44. Been really impressed with him this season. He played 2 years ago as a freshman, played mostly attack. And I think I critiqued him sometimes because he shot from some really low angles coming around from X where he had some more space. And playing mostly midfield this year, taking a lot of runs from the wing, especially against the man-to-man unit. And he's a really good low-angle shooter. So when he drives from those wings, he can go top side or he can go underneath and still have enough space to score. So he's been impressive, been one of the Mustangs' high scores for the season. I don't know what the stats say right now, but I'm sure he's
got
up there.
10 goals and 12 assists so far.
Yeah.
So he is one of the higher scorers. Well, I don't know what happened on that face-off, what the call was, but a lot of people were standing around, and they blew the whistle and gave it to GCU.
Scoop shot from Peterson goes wide, and Grand Canyon maintains possession. Nice jump from Hoblitzel. The Mustang defense getting a little more aggressive as they start smelling the victory here midway through the fourth quarter.
Putting the foot on the throat.
There's Rodas, who had the big game yesterday. Moves it through X.
Well, they're still driving hard. Got a shot off and scored.
Yeah.
It's a good individual effort.
That was Hoblitzel fell down on his approach, and then Tunney had to slide over, and just a good move. I don't actually see the number on that one.
Nick Whittle is one.
That was one?
Yeah. He dodged a couple times and lost one guy. Just keep coming around to the top. It's about an 8-yard shot. And got it low.
One-on-one past two different guys as opposed to a double team. Not sure how Hoblitzel was so late to get to the ball. He had to go across the face of the cage, which is an unusual angle for most defenders. Come across the face of the cage, across the goalie, and kind of slipped. And Whitall was able to get past him and then deal with the other slide.
Brown wins it to himself and able to bring it down and hopefully dish it off. And then probably get off the field pretty quickly. So I think, Coach, what you were saying there, I think the evidence is that Cal Poly is doing a slow slide or a late slide instead of an early slide.
Yeah, that was his ball carrier. So that was Hoblitzel's guy from the beginning.
Oh.
And he had to, instead of coming at him below GLE, he had to go across the face of the cage to even get there in time. Nice ball movement from Cal Poly. Galiff with the little face dodge on the wing and buries it top left. McKay's had a little bit of a struggle in this quarter, not seeing the ball too well at this point.
Timeout. Is that their first timeout of the half?
I think so. Yeah, nothing fancy about that. Just a face dodge from Galiff. Gets way too close without getting touched and puts it over the goalie's shoulder.
Well, he's coming driving down, not even driving, catches the pass and kind of swoops down toward Julia and steps up into the island and lets it rip. Nobody touched him. So I think Cal Poly at this point, it's 12-6. Is the game well in hand if they can just hold on to it and they can trade goals the rest of the day. But
yeah, ordinarily I'd say Grand Canyon still got a good shot, 6 goals. They've got a high-powered offense. They can. They have the ability to put 6 goals in a little bit of time. But when you have Ryan Brown at the face-off for the Mustangs, I think that pretty much you'd be pretty confident at this point. You know that at worst, Brown's going to go 50-50, and that means that Grand Canyon's unlikely to have the possessions to stage a comeback at this stage in the game.
Well, Poly's defense has been showing some strength, and as long as they don't give away too many of those quick drive, pass, drive, shot scores, they'll be fine.
Yeah, offense looks good. Coach Dabrio knew he was going to see quite a bit of zone today, and they have, and I think they've handled it well. In fact, I don't understand why they're Grand Canyon's still in it at this point, because it's neither effective and it's also allowing Cal Poly to kill plenty of time. So I would think they'd have to pick up the pace to give themselves any kind of shot.
Well, they had some hybrid.
Yeah, they were doing some slides from the backside, kind of from unusual places, trying to look for some early double teams. Thought that kind of took Mustangs off their game early on in the first quarter.
Ryan Brown they've wins to himself.
Played mostly zone since.
So now we're getting close to even on the face-offs for the second half here.
A lot of hand waving from the Grand Canyon coaches. Not sure what their issue was at that one. Think they're a little disappointed with their own personnel at this point, rather than the refs on that one. Definitely gonna be a long trip back to Phoenix for Grand Canyon. Again, a proud program. Didn't have a great year last season in 2019. Probably one of their only losing seasons that I know of. Just a couple of years removed from a national championship, and then A new season is a new opportunity. I'm sure they had high hopes for this opening weekend, and they're going to come away 0-2 to start the 2020 campaign.
They're coming up against a pretty hard component in Pauley. So
yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be surprised that they dropped this game. It's probably the 12-8 Santa Clara loss yesterday that's going to hurt a little more.
Well, that's their first game issue.
There was 26 Brown with the ice pick again. This time it didn't work, but Grand Canyon was able to get the ground ball. There's McKay.
Seems to be pretty well adept at managing the ball. Finds his midi coming across the box.
Takes the shot, but it gets checked away. And
Bacarizo. Oh, no, he's calling it GCU.
Oh, that was close. But he had a better angle than us, so I'll trust that he got that right. But good attempt by Bacarizo to create the turnover for the Mustangs. Grand Canyon's not able to take advantage of his being out of the cage. And now they have to settle in and try and break down this Mustang defense.
Do the officials give a few seconds for the goalie to get back? Or
no, that changed quite 5 years ago, where goalies were running out every time to get like a free pass at resetting, and so they changed that. So now it's at your own risk.
Shot and a save.
Yeah, that was Tate with another strong lefty drive on the D midi, but Bacarizo's up to the task on that one and makes the save. Michael Ajeski clears the ball over the midline, and Cal Poly settles in for another offensive possession.
And another clear that was reasonably uncontested because Cal Poly's got decent athleticism and take it and run.
Looks like they finally came out of the zone. A little quick slide from GCU. Ball moves over to Michael Ajeski. Drives the right alley. Up to Moy. Goes over to Gosselin. Good ball movement from the Mustangs. They're kind of glad to see the man-to-man again, I think.
Something a little more familiar and comfortable.
Yeah. Gosselin with the nice ground ball.
This way they can at least create some slide packages that they can get some open men in the middle.
Yeah, only the outside bombers really like playing against the zone. Almost everybody else would rather play against man-to-man. Gokhale with the dodge, bounces it over the top of the cage.
Got 5 seconds on the shot clock. Okay, failure to advance, or shot clock violation. So Poly's gonna try to get their personnel on. We got the LSM got swapped in. See if they can get a midi off for a D mid.
Yeah, then Gokhale was hobbling a little bit, getting off the field, which might have been part of the reason why we didn't see him in the first half, at least unless my memory is failing me. But
GCU was offsides, and Cal Poly picks up the ball.
Yeah, that's a killer. That'll end any comeback attempts right there. Kai Moy just kind of gonna bury this one in the corner for a little bit on the invert.
Yeah, if you can burn a minute and a half per possession.
Gets past his man, feeds Trageser, but he's not able to corral it. Reno gets the rebound.
Cal Poly shouldn't be in any hurry here. They got 60 seconds on the shot clock. They need to eat as much as they can right now.
Yeah, this is one of those opportunities where it's like, take the good shot. Certainly don't need to rush anything. If something opens up, let it fly. Otherwise, at a minimum, get another minute off the clock and one more minute closer to a victory and a 6-0 start to the season. Toivola with the short stick matchup somehow feeds the crease, but at GCU is able to knock it down and come away with the ground ball.
Yeah, that's absolutely unnecessary on Poly's part to push that.
Yeah, that might have been open there. It's hard to tell from this angle, but Grand Canyon was up to the task of.
Given the fact that on the ball, it wasn't very open.
Well, meaning that the pass was knocked down. If it got through, it might have been an open guy. So we're winding down. We've got about 3.5 minutes left in the game, and looks like Cal Poly's going to comfortably walk away with another victory. So it's been a pretty impressive start to the season. 6-0, and a lot of ranked teams in that. Not top 5 ranked teams, but they've all been ranked. You play who's on your schedule.
The next couple weeks are top 5.
Oh, good save from Bacarizo from the outside lefty rip.
A nice catch on the run.
Galef almost gets caught off guard again. He
And
does. Gee, somebody let that kid know that there's a substitution box that people come in and out of at a frequent basis, because that is the second time today that he was caught unaware of a guy coming out of the box, which is pretty exasperating from a coaching standpoint. As I go back into coaching mode, even just talking about it. So we were saying, Cal Poly had a heck of a start to the season. I think, there's no doubt they're going to have a good season. They've already well on their way. They're going to be top 2 or 3 when the next polls come out. The question really for Cal Poly is all about that national title, that elusive national title that the program just hasn't been able to bring home yet. And this team definitely has a shot. They got the face-off dominance. They've got solid goal play, and a really, really good offense.
Well, they have depth. They have another goalie that's got a decent save percentage. So
Yeah,
far.
Hippensteel's looked good in his opportunities.
Even the other face-off specialist that is a freshman is
Friedman. Yeah,
he's showing some promise in the stats. So, Cal Poly throws the ball away. That's not a national championship style.
Yeah. Yeah, if I have any question mark for this squad at this point, it's just the team defense. And it's not so much that they haven't played well. It's just I don't think they've
been tested.
They've been tested, exactly. So it's not really their fault. But, that game's going to come where Brown only gets 50%. Well, it might come. Maybe not with him. But, at least where he only gets 60% and the possessions are a little more even. And against a high-powered Cal offense or Chapman offense, how's that defense going to hold up? That's my one question mark at this point.
I think the thing that concerned me about today was that I'm not seeing the slides and aggressive slides, early slides, or slides that are keeping guys from getting good shots off and scores. So. Yeah,
but to be fair, they only gave up 6 goals, so that's never a bad day on the defensive end. So these next 2 contests against Chapman and then Cal will really be a good test for the Mustang D.
Yep.
And that's the kind of thing you need at this point in the season, because frankly, it'd be nice to win those next 2 games, but it's the games in May that matter more, and I'd really like to see this team and this program finally bring back that trophy that we've been so close to for so long. So hope they keep their eyes on the prize and keep working hard, because this team's got a real shot at winning the whole thing. Galef killing time, gets checked.
Yeah, we're down to 12 seconds left. Not much.
That was a little bit of a makeup call, I think.
Or lack of.
Oh, Grand Canyon gets a shot off. I think I'm going to say Bacarizo got a piece of that, and then it went off pipe to prevent the last-second kind of feel-good goal for the Lopes.
The moral victory.
Yeah. So, well, there you have it, Coach. Another pretty impressive performance from the Mustangs. Little different kind of game from what we've seen from them the last couple weeks, where the offense just lit it up. But Grand Canyon intentionally tried to slow that down, go zone, be pretty deliberate on offense. So a 12-6 victory is still a very solid showing.
And I'm impressed that they actually were able to handle some of the extra pressure that GCU brought to them.
Yeah, they showed them some different looks, and Cal Poly handled it all pretty well. And never gonna mind a 6-0 start to the season, right? So things are looking good here in San Luis Obispo, and they'll be down in Chapman next weekend, and back here at Cal Poly for the big Cal game in 2 weeks.
And I think I'll be able to make that broadcast, so it'll be fun to watch that game for sure.
Yeah, I think I've got the 805 Lacrosse Sharks game that day, so you'll have to handle that one without me, but I'm sure sure the Mustangs will be ready for that. So for all of you out there listening for the game, hope you enjoyed it. Again, Cal Poly takes the victory 12-6 over Grand Canyon to head out to a 6-0 record to start the 2020 season. With Sean O'Brien, I'm Mark Lee, and we are signing off here in San Luis Obispo.